On the latest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, he gave his take on the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Take a look.
Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior, woke story in the news.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is. She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
What happens when a titan of daytime television, a self-proclaimed champion of women and a pillar of progressive commentary, publicly reduces another woman's groundbreaking success to the number on her dress tag?
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
It all started with a single condescending comment, delivered with a casual smugness that dripped with dismissal. The topic on The View was Caroline Leavitt, a sharp, fiercely intelligent, and accomplished political communicator who had just been named Donald Trump's new press secretary. This was a monumental appointment. At just 25 years old, Leavitt was poised to be one of the youngest individuals in American history to hold such a powerful and visible position. She wasn't an unknown. She was a graduate of the Harvard Institute of Politics and had already served as a communications director for a congresswoman. On a panel that has built its entire brand on celebrating female empowerment and breaking glass ceilings, you would expect a nuanced discussion, perhaps even grudging respect for her ambition.
Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior, woke story in the news. They're the party that disappears people or tries to make them apologize for ridiculous things.
But that's not what happened. Instead of engaging with Leavitt's impressive resume or her political ideology, Joy Behar waved it all away with a flick of her wrist. She leaned into the camera, a sly grin on her face, and smugly suggested that Leavitt only got the high-stakes job because she's a size 10. In that single breathtakingly reductive moment, a woman's entire professional journey was rendered invisible. Her intelligence, her work ethic, her proven ability to navigate the brutal world of Washington, D.C. All of it was erased and replaced with a dress size. The irony was so thick you could cut it with a knife. For decades, Joy Behar had fashioned herself as a warrior against sexism and objectification, yet here she was on national television, doing the very thing she claimed to despise. The internet didn't just cringe, it exploded. The backlash was immediate and fierce, with accusations of blatant hypocrisy flooding social media. But the real storm was still gathering force, and it was about to be unleashed by one of comedy's most unapologetic and lethally sharp critics.
Is she really a 10? We'll be right back.
Joy noticed Jesse was a 7.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Ever-empowering feminist, Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Caroline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
That's when Bill Maher stepped into the ring. And that's why this time it was different. When a conservative critic attacks Joy, it's easily dismissed as partisan noise. But Maher is a liberal, one who has made a second career out of torching the absurdities and sanctimony of his own side. On his HBO show, Real Time, Maher didn't just disagree with Joy, he publicly dismantled her. He saw her comment as a perfect, crystalline example of the intellectual rot within modern progressive discourse. He called out the blatant double standard, the political cosplay where you only support women who think exactly like you. He explained how politics has become binary. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, he said. And Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior woke story in the news. Then, with his signature deadpan delivery, he turned his focus directly on Joy and delivered the final devastating blow. He used Joy's own shallow logic as a weapon and turned it directly against her. Joy Behar calls her a 10, he began, letting the absurdity of the statement hang in the air. How dare she objectify a woman with a rating system? But it's such a typical thing from a 1.5. The studio audience erupted in a mix of shock gasps and roaring laughter. The comment was savage, it was personal, and it went instantly viral. Maher had lit Joy Behar up like a bonfire in the middle of prime time, and he did it by holding up a mirror to her hypocrisy. The reflection was not flattering. It showed a commentator so blinded by tribalism that she had become the very thing she claimed to fight against.
What really ticks me off about him, though, is this laughing Kamala remark. It's such a remark, because a guy I was with over the weekend, a friend of mine, they said Kamala's laugh annoys me. Remember they said that about Hillary's laugh, that she was cackling. And men, you know, they don't like a funny woman. We're afraid if you laugh or you make a joke that maybe you'll do that when they're in bed with you. It's like this fear.
But Maher wasn't just attacking a single comment, he was exposing a deeper, more toxic dynamic brewing right on The View's own set. If you go back and watch that original segment, the tension is palpable. As Joy made her dismissive remark, her co-host, Alyssa Farah Griffin, a former Trump administration official who serves as the panel's resident conservative, attempted to steer the conversation back to reality. She pushed back, trying to interject with facts about Caroline Leavitt's actual resume, her extensive political work, and her proven capabilities. But Joy wasn't having it. She waved her hand dismissively, practically rolling her eyes as if objective facts were an unwelcome and annoying interruption to her pre-approved narrative. This was the exact behavior Maher had been criticizing for years. He called The View what many disillusioned viewers had come to see it as the one and only approved opinion hour. It's a place where there's no room for real debate, no space for alternative takes. The moment someone on that panel, even one of their own, dares to step outside the liberal groupthink, they are shut down, mocked, and dismissed. And who is always swinging that first punch? You guessed it, Joy Behar, the self-appointed gatekeeper of the gospel. According to Daytime TV, Alyssa Farah Griffin is paid to be the sacrificial lamb, to offer a dissenting view only to have it shot down by the show's ideological enforcers.
What now? That's so if you don't like Kamala Harris's weird cackling, it's because you fear her in the boudoir?
Huh?
That's a theory there, Joy. I feel like, given her personal history, I mean, Willie Brown and all, that's probably not what people are thinking about Kamala Harris when they are thinking about that type of activity, but sure, go with that.
This idea that Trump won with some kind of mandate is not true. I mean, we have information there. He beat Kamala Harris by 1.6%. Joe Biden beat Trump by 4.5%, and nobody said it was a mandate. So get that out of your lips, out of your mouth. These people were saying it's a mandate. It's not a mandate.
Joy Behar, once again, is very confused. The reason that Trump is said to have a mandate here is not because he won the election by 1.6%. He didn't win the election by 1.6%. He won the election in a landslide. He got 312 electoral votes.
This incident wasn't a one-time slip-up. It was a clear window into a pattern of increasingly bizarre and poorly reasoned takes from Behar. Her logic has often seemed to operate in a universe of its own. Not long before the Leave It incident, she famously claimed on air that men who find Vice President Kamala Harris's distinctive high-pitched laugh to be annoying are secretly misogynists. Her truly baffling theory? She suggested that these men are afraid of a woman who laughs freely because they fear she might exhibit that same confidence and unrestrained power in the bedroom. The mental gymnastics required to make that leap were Olympic level. But this pattern of bizarre logic wasn't limited to the abstract world of political psychology. It bled into stunning moments of condescension toward everyday Americans. In one infamous segment, after a Miss America contestant, who was a nurse, performed a monologue about her profession, Joy mockingly questioned why she was wearing a doctor's stethoscope. The backlash was immense and immediate. Nurses across the country felt belittled and disrespected. The hashtag #NursesUnite trended for days, and major nursing organizations condemned her remarks. Joy was forced to issue a reluctant on-air apology, but the damage was done. It revealed a shocking disconnect from a massive, respected profession and a glib ignorance that alienated millions of viewers.
Electoral votes is what determines who wins the presidential election. He only needed 270 to win, and he got 312. Totally destroyed Kamala Harris. That number, the 1.6 or 1.8% that she's referencing, is the popular vote. Trump also won the popular vote. First time a Republican's done that in 20 years.
Huge.
Democrats have an advantage in the popular vote because Republicans generally don't campaign in the big Democrat states, New York and California, because the Democrats are going to win it anyway. It's a waste of campaign dollars.
This was Joy on The View on Friday.
What was your reaction? Well, my reaction was I was at Costco buying, 10 boxes of Keurig coffee, and my watch started to buzz, and I got so excited I started leaking a little bit.
Just when you didn't think you could be more upset, you have to picture Joy Behar's vagina.
And that's when the silence from one particular group became deafening. The same DEI warriors and online activists who constantly preach about fairness, inclusion, and championing women suddenly went radio silent after her size 10 inches comment. There were no outrage think pieces, no calls for accountability, no demands for an apology. The rules, it seemed, had magically changed because the target was a conservative. If a male conservative commentator had reduced a liberal woman's career to her body, the outrage would have been swift and all-consuming. But when one of their own did it, there was nothing but awkward silence. It was a stunning display of the rules for thee but not for me mentality that has caused so many people to lose faith in mainstream discourse. Meanwhile, as the media world debated her dress size, Caroline Leavitt was busy doing her job, confidently fielding questions at the White House and proving she didn't land the gig with a photo op. She earned it. But Joy's commentary often seems disconnected from such realities. In another instance that revealed a startling lack of basic political knowledge, she got into a muddle over Trump's election results. She confidently declared that the idea Trump won with a mandate was false, citing a narrow popular vote margin. She seemed completely unaware or chose to ignore that presidential elections are won with electoral votes. She was swiftly corrected on air, as it was pointed out that Trump didn't just win, he won in an electoral landslide, securing 312 electoral votes when he only needed 270. It was another moment where her passionate opinion seemed to be built on a foundation of factual error.
I'm sorry.
Leaking at a Costco.
I don't want it. I didn't want any of the events that happened late last week. What's going on? Why? There's such a thing as TMI. There really is. Like, it was inappropriate. She's inappropriate. It was disgusting, and no one wants to be thinking about that. But on the larger point, that's how rabid they are. Mm-hmm. Like, it literally caused her to pee her pants. She was so excited to see Donald Trump convicted, like a 3-year-old seeing Goofy at Disney for the first time.
Just when you thought her public commentary couldn't get any more cringeworthy, it did. Joy's obsession with Trump reached a new, bewildering, and deeply personal low when she shared an incredibly graphic story that left audiences disgusted and confused. She confessed on air that upon hearing the news of Trump's conviction in his New York trial, she was so overcome with excitement while shopping at Costco that she started leaking. The bizarre and unfiltered overshare was so shocking that even her most loyal supporters were left speechless. It was a moment of total emotional incontinence, both literally and figuratively. Commentator Megyn Kelly, another fierce critic, immediately pounced. She mercilessly mocked Joy for having an emotional overload in aisle 7. Kelly quipped that Trump wasn't just living rent-free in Joy's head, he was rearranging the furniture too. The line was brutal but rang true. Joy's reactions to anything related to Trump had gone from political commentary to a deeply personal, almost pathological obsession that was now manifesting in genuinely embarrassing ways. Soon after, the humiliation became painfully physical in a moment that felt like a perfect, almost poetic metaphor for her entire year. During a live taping of The View in front of a studio audience and millions of viewers at home, Joy Behar went to sit down in her swiveling chair, missed the mark, and completely fell to the floor. The clip was everywhere in an instant. The show's host tried to laugh it off and help her up, but the symbolism was inescapable. Here was the queen of daytime TV, a woman who projected unshakable confidence, literally losing her footing and collapsing. For her critics, it was the physical manifestation of what they had been saying all along. She was fumbling, her arguments were unstable, and her credibility was collapsing right before our very eyes. In the end, this cascading series of events wasn't just a feud between TV personalities. It became a powerful case study in the clash between two colliding worlds: the scripted, self-righteous, and often logically flawed outrage of legacy media shows like The View, and the new wave of unfiltered, unapologetic critics like Bill Maher who refuse to play by the old rules. While Joy Behar is left with a seat on a talk show couch and a growing list of viral blunders, the people she dismisses are shaping policy from the White House.